Love is in the air. No, no, please don't play Air Supply.
I know just how to whisper, making love out of nothing at all.
All right, Charlie and I had Howard Jones's parents go through our fan mail, and they came back with a consensus. We need in the show. Charlie exclaimed,
Inconceivable!
well, for our Sweet 16 show,
As you wish.
well, I learned this new African ritual dance.
It's the African Anteater ritual!
Charlie Stud Muffin Snyder, who will we be swooning on this show?
Well, during our special Valentine's Day themed show, we're going to go back to 1987 to rediscover two memorable cinematic love stories. First, we'll take a trip back to the Middle Ages and we'll root on Wesley as he tries to save the beautiful Princess Buttercup in the fairy tale classic Princess Bride. Next, we'll take a deep dive into the idea of renting a girlfriend to achieve high school popularity in the teen favorite Can't Buy Me Love. As per usual, we're going to feature two more incredible beers this show, which are certainly to loosen things up a little bit with your Valentine's Day dates when you share them with these beers. We'll also offer up 5 love-themed songs to our ever-growing Totally Radical Mixtape podcast playlist, which is also featured on Spotify. So break open a heart-shaped box of chocolates and you'll find out that the dulcet tones of the soundtrack of our first 16 shows are sure to get you laid on Valentine's Day. But if you love what you see on the show, be sure to massage those like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss any shows in 2026. But without further ado, let's whip out our long swords, let's swill a goblet of mead, and let's get ready to serenade our beloved princess.
The Princess Buttercup!
It's showtime.
Got a girl mail to lock?
Mom? Ain't looking for one here.
What are you looking for? I'm Daniel.
I'm Kumiko.
Was it beautiful?
Like you.
A bunch of lovable people there. You can definitely you can feel the love in the air.
I think I might have. Well, that's it. So we're in February. This is our
We
first February for the show. So we have to, that's what we focused on, love. And I think I might have seen a few of those movies with some dates.
Oh, it's about that era when we used to go to the movies back in Anne Arundel County, chock full of great movie theaters that we could take dates to and whatever else we did within the movie theaters. But so where we're from, a bunch of theaters very close, probably within 15, 20 minutes, probably 4 or 5 places you could go. Where did you take your dates back in the high school days?
The Jumpers one, right?
The Jumpers one, which was a $1 movie theater after a while, so that's pretty shrewd on your part, I would have to say.
I didn't have $1,000 like Ronald.
Right, that's true. They got to watch those budgets.
Maybe it was. Yeah, I know you wanted me to say Marley Station, but it wasn't Marley Station. It was a different. It was a cheaper theater. I can picture it in my mind right now, and there was a couple of things that happened there. One, I do remember a friend. We drove there in his Corvette.
Yeah,
like one of the older Corvettes, and it got stolen while we were.
Oh no!
So clearly it was not the nicer movie theater to go to. I took a date to go see Scrooged. So obviously it was during Christmas.
Sure.
And I was just learning how to drive. So I believe I was on my learner's permit, right? And I was deathly scared of the curfew that we had at the age where you need to be at home. You couldn't be driving after a certain time. I can't remember what time it was, but the movie exceeded that time. So
Well, that's
she's
not good.
showing up with a friend. I know she showed up with a friend, which luckily I didn't have to worry about taking her home. But I actually said, I gotta go. I
No
gotta get back
way.
before the curfew. But so
Bogus.
I was clearly following the rules and I was being a good boy, but she's probably going, what a lame-o, dude. Oh,
Potentially, potentially.
yeah.
So Jumpers was an interesting theater. Again, back in the 70s, I remember my folks used to take me there when it was a first run type movie theater. But again, as the 80s wore on and Jumpers Mall kind of wore out, it became that dollar theater. Tell you the thing I remember about Jumpers Mall was our mutual friend Atlee and myself were out in the parking lot pre-gaming for a dollar movie
We're here.
and pounding beers, and we had one of the security folks came banging on the window and said, "Hey, I need to see some ID." So unfortunately, we ended up dumping out about 8 beers in the parking lot before we entered the movie theater. So Atlee wasn't my date, but you know what I'm saying.
Kids get away with stuff these days. And look at that. We had to deal with people coming knocking on our door on our window in the parking
Yeah,
lot because what? Somebody ratted you out?
yeah, they got nothing better to do on their little bicycles.
$2.
Going around trying to find perpetrators. I mean, but the best part about movie theaters, most of the time at Marley Station, the 32-ounce cups were very thick. So if you were a resourceful young gent like I was, you'd already have like a small bottle of vodka or Southern Comfort or something like that. So, just go into the bathroom, dump out about 8 ounces, top it off. And nice thing was those cups could really hold up through a good movie.
And that, as much as anything else, led to my drinking problem.
So you wouldn't have to worry about it, finding a hole or start leaking out or anything like that. So, just you have to be resourceful in a movie theater. And just for the sake of decency, since we are a family show, I certainly won't talk about the old popcorn trick.
No. No, we already covered that in show 2 at the bachelor party.
That's right. That's right. So we'll leave
Nick
the popcorn trick
Nick
for
the
another day.
Dick.
Nick the Dick. That was it. Oh,
Oh my
Mr. Dick.
god.
Is that the foot long?
And then some.
So I don't know that Wesley had a foot long, but he did have a pretty big mission in mind when he had to rescue his beautiful Princess Buttercup from the evil Prince Humperdinck.
With Love in the Air, we looked for some really good, fun, loving relationship type of movies that we were, what, 16 at the time in 1987?
At the time, and I don't know that I even really recognized this movie at the time. It wasn't really
No.
something that. I mean, yeah, it's a date movie, sure,
Oh,
but
sure.
I don't, and I remember in the research them getting some heat because they felt that they didn't market the movie properly. They didn't really know how to bring it out, and as we talked about in a couple shows about movies becoming cult classics, once they're out of the theaters, they become popular. Yeah, this is absolutely an example of that because I don't remember this being in the movies at all back in those
No,
days.
and you actually hit on it because and they actually mentioned it. So there's a couple that we think is a cult classic, yet it doesn't say it or doesn't state it. But this actually mentioned it in the research that I did. I don't think we've had a fantasy comedy adventure. I don't think anything fits into a fantasy comedy adventure. I guess Bill and Ted's might fit into it, but not the fantasy part. I guess when they
Right.
actually travel. But yeah, this was embolstered by VHS, and
Abs-
that really helped it launch into stardom, into another stratosphere of people enjoying this movie, and was able to take uh, the the dollar value higher and higher to a point where
Oh,
now people love this movie.
yeah, I don't know a kid out there that doesn't have this in their DVD collection. If the kids still even do that anymore, it's probably in their streamer collection. But yeah, that's just an old standby. I mean, hey, if a babysitter needs to, wait out the kid they're babysitting, this is a great one to throw on there. That's for sure.
Don't fuck with the babysitter.
Yeah, you could put this in the collection of, the kids are going to like it, the parents are going to enjoy watching it. The teenagers maybe who are dating are going to be like, ooh, ooh," because there was an emphasis on the kissing.
Fred Savage didn't like the kissing.
No, he didn't, and I didn't put so much emphasis on Fred Savage, but we obviously know he went on to the Wonder Years and has done other things. Peter Falk, obviously a massive star from the '70s and early '80s. In 1987, yeah, Princess Bride, Rob Reiner. We'll get into him because we mentioned him in the last show or show 14. We have a couple that are in the hopper,
We
and
do.
yeah, so 8 out of 10 IMDb, great, 93% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 60 million budget that only made 30 million in the box office. But like we said, it's gone on to way more after that.
An interesting backstory. Again, talking about sort of the origins of the movie. It was a book. William Goldman wrote the book. Rob Reiner actually first got his hands on it back in 1971 when he was Meathead. When he was working on All in the Family. His dad Carl was friends with William Goldman, thought he would like the book, and he was right. But then the interesting part of the backstory too is you've got William Goldman watched Rob Reiner direct This Is Spinal Tap, and he made his decision based on that. That this is the guy I want to direct the movie that's optioned from my book. So just again the tight circle of the Totally Radical Mixtape podcast. There's always a thread back to the previous shows.
Well, okay, perfect segue. It's the fridge. It's Chicago Cubs. It's Chicago again.
Oh, it's the curse of Shermer, Illinois. Strikes yet
All right.
again.
So now, also because Rob Reiner loved this, he wanted, I think, the guy from Dire Straits to score it.
Mark
And
Knopfler, yeah.
Dire Straits guy joked around saying, "I want to do an ode to Spinal Tap," because we talked about Spinal Tap in episode 4, maybe.
That was 4. Yeah.
And if you notice, right above Fred Savage, there's Rob Reiner's hat from Spinal Tap.
It sure is. Wow, check that out. Okay.
It
Nice,
is a
nice
little
touch.
it's a little bit off because obviously the hat's gone by now, and but yeah, they wanted to put a little ode to him and throw that in there, and not many people catch that. But what I love about these types of shots is all the neat things that are in the background, and you could probably pick apart and zoom in and all kinds of stuff of what is back there and how it connects. Because I think we've mentioned this with the Gremlins and other directors that put little Easter eggs, if you will, throughout the
Yep.
movie to give a little props to what they've done before. But yeah, so yeah, this was great. I thought this was a really neat way to start it because a couple of movies, certainly after this, followed suit where you're immersed into a story through a book reading. And this was great because it was neat because they brought him back. I mean, this wasn't Fred Savage popping up. He came back a couple times and then you forgot that he was there, or until the very end where Peter Falk said, "Oh, you want me to read this book again? As you wish."
Exactly. And he was pushing back about the kissing at first, and I was like, well, I didn't mind it so much anymore. So, but yeah, nursing him back to health with chicken soup and the Princess Bride.
That's right. And Fred eventually wanted to kiss. What was that girl's name? Audience, what was the girl's name in Wonder Years?
The Spinal Tap nod. Christopher Guest got to be a part of the cast here. So
11,
Oh, I see.
11,
And most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
always
Yeah,
keeping
Count-
the
Count Rugen, and then is Nigel.
yep.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he didn't split with the band in this one. He just got removed.
He was the fellow with the six-fingered glove, correct?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. The six-fingered man. That's who Inigo was chasing around the entire movie.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Well, I know Mandy Patinkin He had talked a little bit, I guess, in the research also that this really was his favorite role that he ever had. He's been in a lot of movies and TV shows over the years, but he still kind of credits this and as the most fun that he ever had, within a movie.
Yeah, he was massive on Broadway. He did so
Oh
much
yeah,
things on stage. He actually won a bunch of Tony Awards. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't actually connect with. I mean, he was in Yentl with Barbara Streisand. I'm pretty
true.
sure I never watched that, but he learned how to sword fight, both left and right-handed, for this role because I think he's that type of amazing actor. He wants to do his greatest, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, both of them. There was no stunts involved in any of the sword play. The only stunt I think was when I think he ran up. I think it was Wesley ran up the wall and did a flip or some crazy thing like that.
Who are you?
No one of consequence.
I must know.
That was the only thing that there was a stunt. But yeah, all that stuff was legit in terms of what they were doing. It wasn't any stunt people at all.
Yeah, so let's go to Carrie Wells, who was Wesley. You might remember him from Robin Hood Men in Tights in '93, which was it was that again, that comedy that we've talked about before, a little slapstick, a little very quick, very odd, almost Monty Python-ish and Mel Brooks type of approach. And then Glory, phenomenal role in '89, and Hot Shots in '91.
Let's celebrate, honey. Hey, everybody. Drinks are on me.
And again, here's him with Buttercup. I believe this was after they got out of the fire swamp, if I remember this
This
image
is when,
correctly.
yeah, this is when she pushed him down, and he yelled, "As you wish," and she's, and then she jumped down as well, and I loved her as she's rolling, ow, ow, ow. So Robin Wright, she Buttercup came from as a soap star on Santa Barbara. She
Mhm.
was super young, like 20-ish, and you might remember, at least she's done lots of stuff. I mean, she's been TV phenomenal, but just within our window of the show uh, coverage, Forrest Gump in '94.
The other real part about this is the ensemble cast. I mean, they really had a lot of very known people, especially in the '70s at that time. You had Andre the Giant, which that was cool that he again. I heard there was others that were considered. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, again, nod to last
Really?
movie or last show with Airplane.
All right, but just remember, my name is Roger Murdoch. I'm an airline pilot.
And he was actually the original Fezzik, or he was offered the role, but he couldn't quite get his NBA schedule lined up to where he could do the movie. So they ultimately moved on to Andre the Giant, which obviously was a natural fit for the sort of clumsy but huge giant Fezzik. And
Yeah. So in the book, I don't know how they referred to him. Almost like a landmass. So he was portrayed as a giant. So that role obviously would have whittled down to large ass people, and he was sort of touring around the world still as a wrestler, but his health issues were just getting worse and worse and worse. But he was conflicted by those through the entire shooting of the movie. But yeah, he was he was spot on with his acting and his lines, and he was just a phenomenal part, a great part.
perfect fit for it, that's for sure. And then sort of the rest of the trio of evil here that was sent to stop Wesley.
Wallace Shawn
Wow.
Vicini.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been in Clueless in '95, Young Sheldon, which is what people might remember him today. We love him in Young
Going
Sheldon.
for
But
fearsome
he's
here,
also
but
the
I just
voice of
don't
Rex
feel
from
it.
Toy
I think I'm
Story.
just coming off as
And
annoying.
a movie that I want to just toss into the mix of, hey, audience, and Charlie, if you don't mind, I would love to cover Heaven Help Us. He was in that, and I think it's a great movie that not a lot of people have heard about or seen, but it's hilarious.
Well, I also read in the research that really the word or the line that he's so known for, saying inconceivable, he hated the word.
Inconceivable.
It was annoying to
Really?
him to
Here's
keep
another
having to
fork.
use it and to sort of
Let me
have
think you
that
missed what
always
you think it
associated.
is.
People would say that to him in public. Inconceivable. It's like, just stop it. I don't want to hear that anymore.
Well, he had
And
that, but
then
he had that voice, obviously, impediment. But to me, it's amazing when an actor can take something like that. They're strong enough. Well, they're confident enough to come out and say, "Hey, yep, this is me, but I could be put in different roles, and this can actually work." And it has worked for him. So he's had a phenomenal career, and
oh, absolutely.
again, perfect person for that job. Yeah.
Yeah, they nailed that one. And who can forget the rodents of unusual size?
Right. The Arush.
The Rooshes. So, immediately when I watched this, I thought, first season of Alf, there was somebody in that suit. So I was thinking, all right, that was immediately what I thought about. And then in the research, I found that there were people inside of that suit, which was pretty obvious that it was.
Yes.
But it was interesting. One of the guys in the suit was pretty quick. Then the other one was kind of slow and clumsy. So I guess the quick one was the one that ran at Buttercup and was trying to gnaw her foot off, I believe, in the movie. But
What about the ROUSs?
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
Also read that Rob Reiner did the voices for the
Really?
rodents of unusual size and said he had a hard time duplicating that and kind of lost his voice after he had tried to do those scenes there for a while. So I thought that was kind of funny. They had the death machine. So when Wesley was captured and pulled down into the pit of despair.
So it's to be torture. I can cope with torture. Don't believe me?
You survived the fire swamp. You must be very brave. But nobody withstands the machine.
They had the death machine there that was going to take, depending on your setting, it would take away a year of your life. Or when Humperdinck came down, took 50 away from him. So, it's just
That to me is very odd, right? So initially, Count Rugen was like, "Hey, we're just going to go to the first setting," and he comes down and goes straight to 50. Well, why would you go that? Why would you have a machine that has that much of a range, or not a safety valve that says no?
Yeah.
You have to.
All right, safe, or like what is it? The ludicrous speed from Spaceballs.
Late! What happened? Where are they? I don't know, sir. They must have hyperjets on that thing. And what do we got on this thing? A Cuisinart? No, sir. We'll find them, catch them. Yes, sir. Prepare ship for light speed. No. Light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
Coming for that #1 spot. Yes, indeed. Ludicrous, I'm hotter than Nevada.
That kind of thing. Like, we don't go past that unless it's a special occasion. One of the things we'll talk about a little farther into the show, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was, movies that hold up over time and some movies that don't. And to me, I always think, it's the writing, it's the quotability of movies that generally will be associated with that. So anybody who's ever gotten married probably remembers the marriage priest from Princess Bride, who's like,
marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. Do you, Princess Barrois?
Yeah, Peter Cook. He was massive in the comedy scene in the 70s. He was actually connected a lot with Dudley Moore, and him and John Cleese from Monty Python connected here and there. But yeah, when you hear him, I'm like, oh my gosh, was he not one of the Monty Python players? But classic. And this was sort of at the end of his career. He did this, and then he was obviously doing a bunch of different comedy stuff here and there. But yeah, just so I don't even know if they made a point to say, "Hey, do it with a speech impediment with caught wind in your mouth."
Well,
Yes.
they said they had such a hard time getting through these scenes because it was just so hilarious. So I'm assuming he was probably ad-libbing a handful of things there.
Uh,
But again, another star, Billy Crystal and the lady from Taxi. Can't think of her name off the top of my head, but that's who's there on
Carol
the right.
Carol Kane.
Bye bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Miracle Max. I mean, he came from Soap, and then of course SNL, and then Running Scared in '86, which I loved that movie.
Hold no cars! Hold no cars! UFO landed on Michigan Avenue!
That is definitely the one. You bastard! We lost a suspect! A keys, a car, a van!
We finally got you right where we want you.
That was a good one.
Throwing Mama from the Train in '87, When Harry Met Sally in '89. He's had a beautiful career. But yeah, Carol Kane was just liar, liar.
Huh? So you're probably playing cards and he cheated.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Get back, witch!
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
Oh
And
my god.
he's mostly dead. They all had that kind of voices. He's mostly dead.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
Right. Get the bellows out and give him a little bit of life back. If he was completely dead, couldn't do anything
Yeah.
for you, but mostly dead, I can do something.
And he's blowing on the chocolate pill.
Miracle chocolate. So we talk sometimes about again the runner-ups for certain roles, and Meg Ryan and Courtney Cox. Just don't know that they would have been good buttercups. Maybe Meg Ryan was kind of in her prime. Maybe she could have pulled it off, but I don't know. Courtney Cox probably not so much. But as we often say, most of the time they made the right choice. So I think they definitely hit the nail on the head here.
Yes, and this movie was, and I'm going to just start using an acronym called CHAS. So if I mention CHAS from now on in our shows, that's what I'm referring to, because it just seems that we seem to be selecting lots of CHAS movies. And
absolutely.
One of the most heavily quoted movies. But yeah, they couldn't get people to make this film, as you mentioned in the beginning, where Rob Reiner was like, come on, I can do it. I can do it. And the person who helped him was Norman Lear. If you look up Norman Lear, tons of props and abilities and skills and credentials to the guy's name. So he helped put that sucker together, and obviously we're happy for it.
Yeah. Plus they and again some interesting things introduced. The fire swamp. That was kind of interesting with the again the fire plumes and the what was it the.
What are the three terrors of the fire swamp? One, the flame spurt. No problem. There's a popping sound preceding each. We can avoid that. Two, the lightning sand. But you were clever enough to discover what that looks like, so in the future we can avoid that too.
And a timeless movie. I mean, I still got the feel goods, watching it at the end, like, oh, happy ending, even though I've seen it 45 times, you still kind of get that warm feeling just because it, kind of holds it all together for us. But
Prince Humperdinck, I know you had a small picture of him in the Pit of Despair, or Chris Sarandon could have sworn I've known him and seen him multiple times in different movies. But do you remember Fright Night from '85?
I do.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Yeah, he was in that.
I don't have Humperdinck. This is a picture of everybody 20-some years later. So this was at an award show, so you can kind of see how some people progress through their lives. Buttercup second from the left.
Very cute. Super hot.
And the
only thing I can shame her on is the fact that she hooked up with Sean Penn.
Yeah, who didn't? Everybody loves Spicoli.
Something happened to him, man.
That's right. But so Chris Sheridan, Prince Humperdinck, who's the one guy, well, not the one guy, but yeah, he's looking off to the right or left, however you want to stare at this thing. But
Yeah.
he does the voice of Jack Skellington in A Nightmare Before Christmas.
My Christmas is filled with laughter and joy and this. My Sandy Claus outfit.
Did not know that.
Hmm.
All these voice actors, especially once you get that gig, it's like, this is way easier than acting in movies. I think I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, Rob Reiner, unfortunately, we mentioned what happened to him, and but yeah, he was doing the sure thing when this opportunity came up, and then of course pursued it during Stand By Me and what have you. But he was hell bent on making sure that this got accomplished. And I do believe it was all shot in England, and the cliffs of insanity were the cliffs of Moher, which I've been to and looked over, and there's no railings whatsoever, and it, like, so you can see us, we're laying down prone, kind of just creeping over the edge, going, okay, that's good enough for me.
Just great overall. Has stood the test of time. Still can sit down and watch it all the way through, and just fantastic, and definitely earns the 8 stars on IMDb. That's for sure.
Yes, do you remember
You remember when you asked him?
the game of wits between Wesley and
the
Athena?
Iacane.
Right,
Yep.
we're going to pass this goblet of wine back and forth. We never talked about that, but that game is sort of what we're going to do right now with our beer break.
I want a beer. Beer.
We should get some road beers, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, we should get some road beers. No alcohol? This place sucks.
I can't take this much longer. I gotta have a beer. Brilliant.
I heard the click.
Let's get those road beers out.
All right.
Oh my God. You should smell this thing.
You want to go first because you've been waiting so long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this one for a minute. So
I'll just dance.
That's fine. So, an homage to our former coast, the East Coast, I decided to step away from the boulevard, or step off the boulevard, so to speak, and go back to some of my original craft beer roots with some Dogfish Head, which is out of Delaware. So, for those who know Dogfish, this is their 30th anniversary of them brewing beer, and over the course of time, they've let out with things like the pumpkin. They were the original pumpkin beer, I think, back in the day. They did a great job with that, and they've derived a hell of a lot of good beers over time. The Fort beer, which Paul shared with me here at the house, we had a 9-year aged Fort, which was just completely inebriating, I would have to say. It was like 16% when it went in the bottle 9 years before, and certainly was a game changer. So they have the Worldwide Stout series, which comes out every year. And this year, for their 30th anniversary, they have the Triple Decadence Imperial Stout that they are bringing out for consumption this year. As a tribute to our 15th show, which we completed last week, this is 15% alcohol by volume. So this is going to be a heavy hitter in terms of that, and would have to be the crown jewel of my high ABV pursuits here so far on the show. So you're probably thinking, well, it sounds pretty good. So what's the characteristics of the beer? So they went all out. They barrel aged this in 3 different types of barrels. The Palo Santo, which also is a helpful ghost deterrent for those who are ghost hunters. That's actually something that you would light to protect yourself from spirits. So I don't know what the tie-in is there, but kind of interesting to me. The Let's Get Lost whiskey barrels. And then finally, the Utopia barrels, which Sam Adams made their Millennium beer, I remember, and usually their super high-end ones are generally in those Utopia barrels. But the flavor profile, which I haven't tasted yet, but heavy stout character layered with complex wood, whiskey.
They look heavy. Let me take these to your table.
Thank you, handsome. The gin and tonic's for my sister, Ruth.
Okay.
This one is for Stacey.
Hello.
And if you could hand this one to my boyfriend.
Fuck you.
Whiskey and spirit barrel notes, but it's my favorite style, which is American Imperial Stout. Without further ado, I think I'm going to have to give it a sip. And the smell is insane.
Versus
I think the Portuguese that do it the best, but
the Iranian Imperial Stouts, no. So Dogfish Head is or was owned by Sam and Maria Calinon. I can't even pronounce the last name. Probably I should have done it when I was in my my previous podcast. But yeah, they're owned by the Boston Beer Company, which is what you said, the Utopia Barrel, and not the Sam Adams. They own them.
Yep.
But yeah. Hey, check this out though. There is a Dogfish Head Brewings and Eats, along with a seafood restaurant called Chesapeake, Maine, that are both located in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So we might have to do a road trip.
I think so.
Road beers.
And I will, yeah, definitely road. Well, don't drive if you're drinking this one. That's for sure. But you can certainly pick up the whiskey.
Fuck you.
Whiskey characteristics, though. Really, as soon as it gets to your nose, I mean, you can certainly pick up the the whiskey and really the wood. I would have to say it kind of has a little bit of a woodsy smell to it. But once you put it on your lips,
where did you get this again?
This one came from Total Wine.
Oh, okay.
Price point on worldwide stouts is a little aggressive. 4-pack's probably going to set you back $28.99 at Total Wine, so you got to make a commitment to this. But fantastic, though. I mean, these are usually only out for a limited time, and then usually they'll start popping up at liquor stores years subsequent to that, so you can pick up like an older version of the worldwide stout. Every year they do a different type. But if you do happen to pick a 4-pack of this up, and you're a patient person, put one of them away. Go find another refrigerator, tuck it in there, set your phone reminder for 5 years from today.
Come here. I'll show you how it works. All right. First, you turn the time circuits on. This readout tells you where you're going. This one tells you where you are. This one tells you where you were. You input your destination time on this keypad.
But yeah, this is an 11 out of 10. I can't believe I waited this long to drink it. But we do
goes to 11.
This goes to 12. 15.
I didn't bring anything special to this one. All right. I do have. It's different though. So I mean, I'm super glad you brought Dogfish Head to the table. They're absolutely beloved in the beer industry, the home brewing industry. It's one of those amazing American dream stories of a home brewer going pro and just nailing it. And yes, they made it off of a pumpkin beer of all things.
And they had a reality show, if you remember, in the early 00s where they were doing the pumpkin chunkin with the trebuchets or whatever. They were shooting them out into the field, and that's like an ongoing contest to see how far they can shoot the pumpkin. Steady roster of amazing beers. Not sure if I've ever had a bad Dogfish.
I want to also throw this out there. We need to get some young kid to go through all of our episodes and pull some really cool, neat gems to include this. Trebuchet has got to be one of my favorite words to say.
It's right up there.
So speaking of trebuchet, let's say you're back in the Princess Bride time frame and you're trying to impress a girl. Well, maybe you should drink beer, slay dragon.
That's what the cool kids are doing.
So here's an Oakland United Brew Works. This is a West Coast IPA. Gotcha. Obviously, I like the artwork because I've done quite a few dragons in my time.
Couple.
Speaking of, Billy Booth, if you're watching this, get a hold of me. I will make you a brand new version of that dragon artwork that I did for you back in high school.
All right, freshen it up.
Exactly. So this is, as I mentioned, a West Coast IPA at 6.5%. In show 14, I think I did mention the Sea Hops. This has a
Yep.
few of them: Centennial, Columbus, and Mosaic. That's a good triple threat.
I think so. No
And
Citra though.
it's a good taste, good smell. It's got a good aroma, and I don't. I just crack up when I read some of these things. All right, I'm not a fan of Oakland. We've gone down to Oakland to drink beer, and we had our vehicle broken into. So sorry, Oakland. Fix your
Fix
fix
your
your
city.
stuff. Yeah, fix your city, and we'll come down more often. Oakland has always been a beer town. Okay.
Kind of beer town.
Yeah, right. Once known as the Milwaukee of the West.
Dude, what
But
now?
by whose standards? By who's the only people who talk like this are people from the West Coast because Milwaukee people were like, no.
Right.
It's a place where hardworking people gather to enjoy locally brewed fresh beer. Founded in 2009 as Linden Street Brewery, we became the first community-based production brewery in Oakland since Golden West Brewery closed in the 1950s. Okay, kind of neat little history there.
All right.
Anyway, whatever. But yeah,
Well, what didn't Laverne and Shirley, after a few years working at the Schatz Brewing Company, did they move to California? If I remember
well,
correctly. I think they went to Los Angeles though. They didn't go to Oakland.
but let's do it. Ready? Shamil, Shamazel,
Shamazel, Haas and Pepper Incorporated.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassenpfeffer Incorporated.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it.
Do. All right, ready? Put your little glove on the beer as it goes by.
Gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. And
Cheers.
Does it taste good?
Oh, look, Russian River. I got it in the Russian River.
Very nice. Very nice. Crossing boundaries.
It does taste good.
Oh my gosh. If this glass is empty by the end of the show, I take no responsibility for my verbiage. We'll see how it goes. Well, I said $28.99's Dogfish Head, so that's kind of expensive for a 4-pack of beer.
Yeah.
But how much would you pay for the hottest girl in school to be your girlfriend for about a month?
Well, I didn't have $1,000.
No?
No. That's a tough one because I honestly I would have paid. Okay, fine. I'm gonna just really I would have
Bare your soul.
honestly I should have asked nicely. Never know what have happened, but I was just too shy and felt she was, was that a sure thing and whatever we talked about out of my league. But
Yeah.
I would have asked Janet Conrad.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Bearing our soul. Bearing our soul.
There you go. Yeah. So if you anybody's watching from CHS, there you go. Yeah. Like I don't think this was a shocker for people who knew me, and I do remember. Oh, so we're gonna get into Can't Buy Me Love, and some of the cliques and some of the things that happened in high school.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I wanted to bring out. I still have a yearbook. I might have two. To be honest with you,
I do as well.
and I don't know if they do it these days. I don't think they do because the kids are getting triggered or whatever. When did it stop where you get to vote for the hottest girl, best legs, best?
Yes. Senior superlatives, I think we called it at that time. So yeah, it would
because you
always
were
be
on
that.
the the yearbook staff, weren't you?
I was on a lot of things, but the yearbook staff was not one of them. I was on the TV station. That was my thing. But yearbook staff, actually, that's not true. I think I did help edit some of that stuff together. Now that I think about it, senior year was kind of a blur for me. I don't know. Anybody that knows me probably knows why.
Hey guys, do I look different now that I'm a college grad?
Yeah, you were going to the mall and doing shots of vodka.
Right, exactly. Hanging out at the mall, having pizza, doing what kids do. Some boardwalk fries at Marley Station, just all, just kind of straight up kind of stuff. But but I tell you, this the movie certainly stirs up a lot of thoughts from back in the day. Because again, we'll kind of lean into this. Ronald talks about uh, going to the football games and sitting in the visitors section. So when
Yeah.
I went, when I from ninth to 10th grade, I moved from the district where Northeast High School was down to Chesapeake. So that's when I started going to Chesapeake, was 10th grade. However, I sort of felt very disenfranchised there because we always had the perception of Chesapeake people as being sort of the, uh, I don't know, the uppity kind of people, where Northeast we were a little bit more, maybe grainy, a little more whatever. I mean, even our colors kind of spoke to that. We were black and gold at Northeast, and Chesapeake, we had sort of this odd sort of sea blue kind of color as our primary. I remember on my baseball hat, I'm like, I don't like this. I just was always, I
What
was really
what was your mascot for Northeast? Was it Northeast?
the
Sorry, Northeast?
Eagles. We were the
The
Eagles.
Eagle. Oh, so we were the
Yeah.
Cougars. Okay. Well,
Yeah, Eagles, Cougars, that kind of stuff. But
you were
but
you weren't the Anteaters.
we were not the anteaters. We didn't have anything going on like that. But
Yeah.
but I did find that sitting in the visitor section, I got to meet a lot of other people from other schools, which was kind of fun. I really
Yeah.
wasn't totally ingrained into the Chesapeake culture. But oddly enough, what really kind of broke me through was that between 10th and 11th grade, I remember my parents went out of town for like 4 days. So I said, I'm going to go up to the speed. There's football practice, there's cheerleader practice. So I'm going to go spread the word that we're having a party at Charlie's house. And let's see how many people show up.
Wait a minute.
So that's that.
Did you drive there or did you ride your bike there?
I walked there. I lived right
You were
around the corner from the high school, so that was
you were
easy
that
for me to get done.
close? Oh my gosh.
Yep, I was one. We didn't have a bus option. We either walked our ass there or you got a car, one or the other. So I was literally right across the street, pretty close. So I had about 30 people show up for this party.
It's the one, dude. Scope it out.
She doesn't look like a freshman.
Sophomore, dude. Sophomore. Fully aged sophomore meat. Do the bus together.
Talk to her.
Talk, dude. I have a relationship with her.
I knew a few of them. Most of them were people I had just met that afternoon and invited them over to the house. So a couple funny anecdotes from this. So this actually, I knew a hell of a lot more people then, and my house became party central for my junior and senior year, which many people who watch this podcast know that. My golden retriever had eaten a cassette tape earlier that day.
Wait a minute. Which cassette though? Was it Lionel
sure.
Richie?
God, it may have just been just a 90-minute blank or something of that nature. But so the retriever goes out and poops. So then he comes back in and somebody says, "Is that cassette tape hanging out of his asshole?" And I said, "You're exactly right." So we sat there, 10 of us, we slowly pulled the cassette tape out of the dog's rear end delicately. We didn't want to damage any sort of internal organs or anything like that. But that was kind of an interesting story to create some friendships from. But 2 years later, I get busted for this party. So trash day was not before I had to get rid of all the party accessories, and some things got broken, a couple lamps in the basement and a few other things. So we chucked the garbage bags over the fence into the woods behind us. We had woods that were unoccupied.
Yes.
So a couple years later, we're out there looking for something, and my dad says, "Hey, isn't that the Galliano lamp that used to be in the basement?"
Did you touch that? You were always jealous of this lamp.
That's ridiculous. Jealous? Jealous of what? That is the ugliest lamp I have ever seen in my entire life!
Now it was out. Get the glue.
We're out of glue.
You use up all the glue on purpose.
Why is it all jacked up in this trash bag? And then all of a sudden they start looking and they see like 6 or 7 cases of empty cans and everything like that. So they look at me like, Did you have a party that you didn't tell us about?
Hell, he's 3 sheets to the wind. He's drunk as a skunk.
Oh, why don't you shut up, Fred? Shut up. Dong. Dong.
Dong, Grandpa is talking to you.
Dong. Where is my automobile?
Automobile? Leg. Big leg.
So statute of limitations did not expire for me, so I took a ton of shit for that. But what was the net gain? I made some friends at my parties. So didn't have to pay $1,000 for it. It just cost us a couple lamps, but at least it was a good story generator.
Well, this is interesting. So you brought up that you walked to school. Did you walk to school all the time when you couldn't drive?
Yeah, before I had a license, I had a friend of mine, Chrissy Anderson, who was a younger sister of my sister-in-law, who worked. She lived on Ventnor, so she'd come across the street, grab me in her Camaro if I wasn't running late, which was most days. But when I was on time,
Cool.
yeah, she'd grab me and take me over, so that would save me a little bit of time. But yeah, that was only a 15-minute walk from door to door, so it's not like it was a hike or anything like that. But
So you're trying to tell me you never rode the bus?
no,
Wow.
actually did not,
All
except
right.
to sports games. That's it, but never to and from.
So my recollection on 643 Cedar Drive, Pasadena was I attempted to leave the house at the right time. I mean, Greg Kovic was right across the street, crying out loud, and we had a bunch of people. We had a lot of guys and girls in the neighborhood that went to that school. So just an amazing growing up.
Jim McBee, he gave me rides quite a few. We were buddies back in those days, also from your street.
Yeah, so it was this thing where you go down to the left for me, and at the end of the street was a bus stop. Well, if you didn't get that one, you could go across to D Street, go up to Megathy Beach Road, and get on the bus there. If you missed that one, you'd have to go up the hill and over the other side and try to jump on the bus. And at one point in time, I do remember that there was Kintop, right?
Kevin Kintop.
Kevin Kintop was up there as well, with Billy Norman was at the end. Lisa Doyle was down there, and God rest her soul. But yeah, she was down there. She was one of those things like, oh, if you get on the bus down there, you get to see Lisa Doyle, who was super cute. And
How's it going? You know, a girl with a hat is just so bold.
Yeah.
I bet you never smelled a real school bus before. Gummy bear?
Yeah, but I remember a couple times I had to run my ass 3 places to try to catch a stupid bus, and then if I didn't do it right, I come back, "Mom, I missed the bus." "Oh,
Right.
man," and she had to drive me to school. My brother, apparently, according to my mom, who I just asked about this, was worse than I was, and he was notorious for doing this. But up to that point, yes. And then when we got our license, I still never drove to school.
Growing up, looking good. Another year joined at the lips. Hi, Red. Denise, I'd make you see God.
The cruising vessel, Bradley.
Thank you, David. 6 more payments, gentlemen. And this beautiful blue 4-door luxury sedan is all mine.
I relied on Greg and a bunch of other people, but we still didn't go to, I still didn't take rides to school. I think I took the bus for the most part, even as a senior. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It's
I didn't own a car. Well, I did eventually, but not, not a, well, in my thing, I didn't own a Volkswagen Rabbit Cabriolet convertible.
For me, darling, just stronger than anyone I know. She's home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets.
Like Cindy
or a
Van
wood grain
Cleef.
station wagon, like every other movie we've looked at over the last 14 shows.
Yeah, and it's going to come up here, right? There was a station wagon in this. It wasn't wood paneled, but it was a station wagon. All right. So yes, I wanted to talk to you about that, the whole like driving to school, and because it was this, you drive the bus. Whatever.
All right, so our second movie we're going to talk about here tonight, Can't Buy Me Love. Again, takes me back, a movie that again came out in 1987. Same year as Princess Bride. A little bit different subject matter though with this one here. I look back on this movie as Patrick Dempsey as a dork, before he was Dr. McDreamy, and had the rest of his career. I think he's like a hitman on some TV show now. So
correct.
He certainly has evolved. And then Amanda Peterson, the co-star, who I later found out was 15 while they shot this movie, which made me rethink the way I thought about this movie way back in the day. So whatever, however you want to perceive that, but this was a movie that I watched numerous times in my teen years. I liked it. I sometimes think back, was it just because Amanda Peterson was in the movie, or there was others in there that I kind of liked, but I kind of had some hesitancy, as we sometimes, as we go into our research on these older movies, I hadn't seen it for 20 years. So I didn't really know how it was going to feel when I watched it. But when you watched it, Paul, what was your initial reaction when you got through this?
I'm not sure why, but I put this movie in a fun category. I actually owned it on DVD. I don't remember the last time I saw it. This movie, to me, from 1987, I mean, it was 6.8 IMDb, and it only got 48. We have a new low winner, by the way, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made 31 million, which is almost as much as Princess Bride, but I'm pretty sure this was marketed to way more audience members, teenagers, people like that would go see this, would flock to the movie theater and see this. And I'm sure it wasn't made with much budget anyway. But
yeah.
What attracted me to this movie was, this could be me. I'm the nerd. I'm the
sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads,
dork and the geek and the whatever in the subcategory below the cool kids. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to date the cute girl, the hot girl, the popular girl, and maybe this is how I do it. So
You know about Amanda Jones. You think I live here? I have a personal life too, man. How did you manage to swing that one? I don't know, Duncan. You know, I asked her out. She said yes. Word. Anytime somebody from the outside lifts a woman from a gwat like Jen's, man, we could all find cause to rejoice. I'm proud of you.
It was one of those movies where, oh yeah, one of us from the subterranean level was able to rise above, and yes, he learned his lesson, and yeah, so it gave me hope. It gave me hope.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
I mean,
I think.
look, uh, Roger Ebert gave it a half a star.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Wow. That's a hell of an indictment.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like what we were talking about a little bit ahead of the show tonight was because my perception, I honestly, as I watched this with Christine a couple days ago, I said, well, what's your take? Because she thought she had seen this movie before, but apparently she hadn't run across it. And she's like, this isn't very good. And I was like, well, so then it made me start thinking, because I was kind of looking at some certain sections of it and say, well, this was sort of like in the back end of when like the teen sort of cookie cutter movies were coming out. Like 16 Candles kind of kicked that off. And, there was always like the stereotypical things. And I think that this movie had a lot of that. You had obviously the jocks, the cheerleaders, everybody kind of in their own silos in terms of the cliques that they were a part of. And I guess looking back on it, you kind of think how silly all that shit was when we were in high school. I mean, just, you had perceptions about people, and yeah, sometimes they were right. Most of the time they weren't, but there was always sort of the associations that you had. Like, again, moving from Northeast to Chesapeake, I would look around at people in 10th grade and say, do all these girls wear a spree? Just all the little kind of trendy, mid-expensive kind of clothes. And I remember I used to make fun of a couple people who, I think one of them actually listens to the show. I used to call them the Esprit Club, because they'd always be in their expensive sort of designer clothes and everything like that. And here I am in my black t-shirt. Not much has changed there. Yeah, well, maybe it was probably concert shirts at the time, but
we called you burnouts. So there you go.
Right. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
But yeah, no, I get it. I get it, because you're right. There was cliques. There was fashion categories. I mean, the Jordashes, the Guess, the denim jeans, the concert shirts, the big hair, the cheerleaders, the jocks. You mentioned pulling the audience in. So Patrick Dempsey, he didn't do much before this. He was insanely busy up to this point, but nothing that really got a lot of traction. He obviously is Grey's Anatomy, and he was in Heaven Help Us, which is a movie that I touted to you earlier that I want to cover from '85. But he actually was part of that remake of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was in
Is that right?
Yeah, in '86.
God, I'm glad I missed that. I probably watched it at the time, but forgot about it.
Yeah. And then he did a movie called Some Girls with Jennifer Connelly, another my crush, from '88. But like, how would he pull in any type of your girlfriend date saying, hey, let's go see this? He's a really cute kid. And he's really not that dork material. My wife was watching this. She goes, wow, they had to really make him look geeky, because she's like, he's actually really hot, even back then. But Amanda Peterson, by the way, unfortunately, she died at 43, I think, from an overdose, an accidental overdose. So that's a bummer. But she was in Explorers. But yes, that was a huge in '85. But that's it. So these two were the billing. They're billing obviously on the movie poster there to bring folks in. And as we'll go into the rest of the cast later, it wasn't much of a draw. But yeah, it touched on what was going on in a way of kids. Well, this was filmed in Tucson, Arizona. I thought it was California, but I kept
Tucson,
saying
Arizona. Tucson, Arizona.
Sorry, Tucson. Yeah, you can tell I don't go to Arizona very often. But they would show them driving away on the driveway from the house, and it was like not even paved. what the hell? You don't have a paved driveway? And then in the cafeteria, there was these like dirt areas. He got caught in that net, it was like this dirty mess, like pig pen.
Ronnie, let's go! Come on! Get out of there!
From Peanuts. I'm going, what's up with all this dirt? I thought this was California. Finally realized, oh no, it was Arizona.
Yeah, it's a different kind of town. Arizona's a unique state, that's for sure. But you know, I guess from Ronald's standpoint, you know, it was a good investment. And again, for the folks that haven't seen it, you know, he mowed the lawn of Cindy's house, you know, for a time, and then you know he fallen in love with her between you know watching her from I guess his lawnmower and also in school. So she borrows her mom's suede outfit and then ends up getting a bottle of Ripple spilled upon that. And it's interesting. Again, I think back to high school. You know, I considered myself an expert on fine wine back in the day. You know, and I think Quint kind of gave himself the same credit.
That's right.
And you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple twist off bottles of wine in my time. I'm not gonna say I'm too nice for that, but did you ever have any sort of cheap wine back in high school that you ever were attached to at any point that maybe you'd go take to a party?
Well, no, not wine. I mean, wine coolers. You know, the Bottles and James and all those.
That was a thing back then, but also they had. You ever hear of Mad Dog?
Oh yeah, Mad Dog. Yeah.
MD 2020, the finest fortified wine out there for $2.99 a bottle. Can't beat that.
All right, I'm throwing a picture of that up right now. But Quint reminded me of Stifler.
Look, Sarah, I don't go telling stories or anything about you. I promise. So just relax. Take it slow. And let the good times roll.
Okay.
Kind of had the same characteristics.
Yeah.
Does that remind you to anybody specifically from Chesapeake?
I'm not gonna say anything. Probably me.
I'm just drawing you in. I'm drawing you in.
Yeah,
Let's
I know.
continue to bury your soul.
But that's it too, right? You would look at this movie and you'd say, this person is this person from my high school. This person is this person from my high school. The you know, the Cindy's of the world and her friends Hattie and Barbara. Yes, you know, even as I mentioned earlier, Janet Conrad. There was a group of girls that all gathered around and hung out with each other. You know, Janet and Dana Davis and yeah. So and it was interesting to try to approach one of them because you'd be approaching all of them. It was very intimidating. You were like, I got to find them when they're alone. They're never alone.
Or just take the same classes. I mean, at least you get that common ground there. I mean, that's always a good pathway to at least a conversation.
Well, that's it too. I tried, and well, I actually didn't try. I was a horrible student, and I couldn't. I never had good enough grades to be in the classes that they were, or even my friends. Right. So I was friends with certain smart people and popular people, but then I was in classes with the well, if you ever watch Some Kind of Wonderful, that's the group that I was with, which obviously I got to meet cool people like you and Natalie and so on and so forth. But yeah, you know, look at these two girls, Darcy and Tina. I mean, you know, I think the one on the right is Darcy. She was in a bunch of Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
That kind of
deserved it.
Yeah, like just again, that's what you just latch onto. She wasn't, I'm not gonna say she was not good enough, whatever, to be a top actress, but she kept herself employed with those type of scream type of movies. And then Tina was Barbara, and But you remember her when they were dancing and doing all the things. Matter of fact, I think one of our montages actually has her doing the pom poms and
Nice.
I, you know, if I was if I lived where you were, I probably would have gone to school a hell of a lot more and been staring just like Ronald and a bunch of other people that you see staring at the cheerleaders, going, "Oh wow, look at them." But yeah,
That's right.
she was a legit dancer, and then she was in My Mom's a Werewolf, and that was about it. She stopped acting, switched over to dancing, and does choreography and so on. But look at the hair! Look at the hair!
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, slick back.
And
I mean,
Ronald got the little moose going on. You know, that was when he kind of flipped himself around when
where did he get money from all those clothes, though? He already spent $1,000 on her. He didn't have anything else to spend money on. Oh, that's right. She bought him clothes using her
credit card. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, she flipped out the credit cards. I think her mom actually was lecturing her about that at the very beginning as she was getting ready to leave with her weird-looking boyfriend. I think his name was Rock
Sleazy
or something
boyfriend.
like that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, so again, in the background research, the original title of the movie was Boy Rents Girl. Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
that's kind of ho hum. So when you want to get something taken care of, sometimes you just have to step up to the big dogs. So they ended up having to go to Michael Jackson, who just happened to buy all the rights to all the Beatles songs back in the '80s, and say, "Hey, we want to name the thing Can't Buy Me Love. So can you take a look at it? Can you put your monkey down and your little boy down just for a minute or two and take a look at this movie?" So the good part was he loved it. So he said, "Sure, why not? Go ahead and use it. Use the song. Doesn't matter to me." So God bless Michael Jackson for doing something right.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, it didn't do that great in the movies, but yes. Steve Rash is the director, and when you're sitting there looking at, okay, their perspective, their look, their the way they wanted the movie to flow, and so on and so forth. He ended up moving on to things like Son-in-Law, so you can kind of go, oh yeah, I can see that type of template, if you will, and Bring It On, and Bring It On too, because Bring It On needed a sequel.
It's not a cheerocracy, that's for sure.
But yeah, to me, again, it gave hope to nerds. Okay, keep going, because I'm eventually I don't want to bring it up, but yeah, this brought up things like bullying.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Give you the answer to that question, Mr. Bender, next Saturday. Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Which it was prevalent in high school when we were there, and it's still around today. So this whole we got to stop bullying. It happens. And there were sections at lunch. Are we going to get to that part? Yeah, here we are. So we're in the lunch area, and there is you can sit at this table because you're cool. You can sit at that table because you're a nerd or a dweeb, but you can't sit. Well, I guess you can sit in between, but you're in, what do they say? You're in purgatory or Siberia.
Yeah, just craziness. My favorite lunch story, ninth grade, Northeast. We had a poker game. 8 of us at a table all had a legitimate 25, 50-cent blind poker game that we played literally every day, would win money, lose money sometimes. But one day I get up, I go to get an extra milk or something like that. The entire table got busted by the principal, got referrals, got suspended for 3 days for gambling. I come back, I'm like, where the hell did everybody go? But we were the poker guys. That was our little clique. We were the poker guys. You had to inch your way in to get into our game, but that didn't work out.
Did you have the same type of cafeteria? So I remember, for instance, milk. For instance, I remember the chocolate milk and the white milk, and there was little cartons where you crack it open, and there's like almost like papery fuzzies on the lip as you're tracing it. And then there was also usually somebody on the the little graphic where there was, I don't know, a
Missing kid.
cartoon or missing kid, if
Or
you will.
a missing kid.
And then you would take money and you would buy. I remember their cookies were really good. I always wanted a cookie, and I
The
just don't
square
remember too much
pizzas.
about the square
Well,
pizzas. Yes.
the
Oh,
pizza boats.
yep. And then there were the nuggets or something. I can't. Yeah.
Well, there were the nuggets, but the thing is with the pizza boats, I remember Billy Booth actually showed me this the one day. Lay the napkin on top so it soaks up all that nasty ass grease that's on the top of the pizza, and then it's edible at that point. But yeah, you
Wow.
can't forget that when you got the pizza squares or the taco boats, the little things. Yeah, it's just it's tough thinking back on it. It was not a balanced lunch, I would have to say that. And then these guys are
They had,
drinking sodas.
yeah, they
They're
had
drinking
sodas.
Coke Classics. Yeah, they're drinking Coke Classics.
How's that possible? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't think we had a soda machine in Chesapeake towards the back of the cafeteria, I
Mhm.
think, but that wasn't like
Yeah,
that was like a luxury for you rich people.
that
You know,
was to the
I
gym, towards the gym, right?
yep, that's
And that's
exactly right. I
that's
don't
where
know.
everyone hung out because they were making phone calls to Ferris Bueller.
How desperate is the situation? Well, did you see Alien? When that creature was in that guy's stomach? It kind of feels like that. Freshman.
Goddamn, are you kidding?
No, of course I'm not kidding. Do I sound like I'm kidding?
Who's he talking to?
Ferris Bueller, do you know him?
Yeah, he's getting me out of summer school.
Wait a minute, give me somebody else.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Ferris. How's your bod? Oh my God, you're dying?
Uh-oh.
That's right. They're on the payphone calling home. We had a pretty
Yeah,
decent lunchroom at Chesapeake, though, all things
yeah.
considered. Northeast was like a prison just in terms of the way everything was laid out there. CHS was like this nice open campus, looked just like this beautiful Tucson lunchroom that's all outside. Hey, what do
I
you do when you
know.
guys have what do you guys do when you have a haboob? Which is a sandstorm for people that don't know. But what do you guys do when you have a haboob? Do you go eat in your classrooms? I mean, come on.
When they were doing the dancing, Paula Abdul is listed as the choreograph for the.
Are you
the-
kidding
for the-
me?
yeah, Paula Abdul.
It's bad. Oh, he must be in special ed.
Eric Bruce Scotter. He is Big John. He's basically the one that kept on farting.
You okay?
Dude, I got a lot of grub man. I mean, bad. Oh, but there's no need for panic because John Richmond is a socially responsible human being.
Yep, that was him.
I liked him because he was in Tour of Duty, which is one of my favorite 80s shows. And he was the catcher in Major League Two. So Ty, there he is in the white tux. And he was also Starship Troopers. Yeah, keep it here. So Geraldo on the far right, Ricky, you might remember him as I think it's Ecuadorian singer Rico Suave.
Rico. Suave.
I don't drink or smoke and into dope with I know coke. You ask me how do I do it, I cope. My only addiction has to do with a female species. I eat them raw like sushi.
That's Rico
Really?
Suave. Yeah, that's Rico Suave.
Oh my God, I was
Yep.
researching in the wrong place.
So he is now, or was, a recording executive, and he's a Christian pastor.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the girl to the far left, but those two guys, yeah, I looked them up. I thought that was pretty cool because they certainly a tie to our previous show 10, and also the fact that Rico Suave is in Can't Buy Me Love. And they're, I
Pretty
think, drinking,
interesting.
yeah, they're freaking drinking Budweiser.
Ugh. Mega brewers. Hey, one other kind of little silly fact that we found out. So the movie was actually being picketed Apparently, they in Tucson they were able to use like
Oh,
non-union extras or whatever. So
okay.
uh, the crew members got wind of that, and they were trying to talk people out of being extras on the movie. So there's a quick little flash at the very beginning of the movie when they're showing cheerleading practice, which obviously that's distracting. But you do see there's picketers that are actually in the distance there, and they were basically protesting the movie, and they included that in there, which I thought was kind of odd.
Chucky? Yeah, there's Chucky
Yeah,
playing Battleship with
there's
his mom. Oh, look at that. What a cute kid. He's gonna be great when he grows up. He's such a nice kid. Well,
wait till he
that's
gets
Seth.
Robot Chicken going.
Welcome to the Princess Summit, where we address the complex political issues facing our kingdoms.
Hairstyles. Talking pets. Hairstyles for our talking pets.
Crabs. I've got crabs. Well, isn't that just, And where's our newest princess?
Sorry I'm late. I killed a boar on the way here.
Oh, you're so feminist and empowered. Great.
Wee beastie. Have we got to grievances yet? A bunch of wee dwarves are illegally mining me territory.
Oh, Merida, you have far bigger problems. Let me tell you about them.
Not a damn song.
That's Seth Green. Yep. My stepmother is an alien in '88. Pump Up the Volume. I don't remember him Pump Up the Volume, but I love that movie. And yes, Robot Chicken and Family Guy. And
Okay, Chris, now if you're going to learn how to mow a lawn, the first lesson is that you always start by 7 a.m., before everyone wakes up, including roosters.
What the? Hey, shut up!
You shut up!
Oh, real original.
Now, to start the mower, you grab this pull cord like so and give it a nice hard yank.
Can I change my grip?
Wow, much better.
It's a more familiar motion.
he has a beautiful career ahead of him. But he was pretty hilarious. He fit in that right. The kid that didn't talk from Better Off Dead, and the goofy friend that was in Adventures in Babysitting. Kind of a bit of a red hair, to him as well, huh?
He actually, when I rewatched this, I said, "Is that the kid, the little brother who built the spaceship?" I'm thinking they almost kind of had the same characteristics of. God,
Yeah,
why am I failing on them?
Well, Better Off Dead.
Right. So
I
the little brother is.
Yeah, I don't even remember his name from Better Off Dead. It's on the screen.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, just I had no idea that was the Seth Green of the fame, because I mean, again, huge fan, especially Robot Chicken, one of my favorite cartoons of all time, or stop action, I guess you would call it that.
Do you have Courtney Gaines or Kenneth? I immediately thought, hey, that's the guy from European Vacation. It's not, but
right.
Another redhead, and he's had an awesome, pretty cool career. He was in The Burbs in '89, Colors in '88, Back to the Future in '85, Memphis Belle in '90. So really, there he is on the far right hand side. Tons of stuff, and really cool career.
I hated the standoff at the end. And it's funny, I actually edited.
You wanted to punch him in the face?
I edited this scene into the senior assembly. I remember because I remember seeing the hit the bat off the table and say, "I'll hit your pitching arm," but I don't know. I mean, it just became. He probably should have just hit him in the arm.
Oh, okay. So you actually then he would have been expelled and.
Yeah, but it sort of became again. It becomes a little formulaic after a while, and then he calls out all of the clickiness and the popularity and everything, and then you get sort of the dramatic ride off into the sunset kind of ending, which I mean that's fine. I mean I'm not upset with that.
Did you walk around during cafeteria with your baseball uniform?
Boy, did I! But no, no, I not unless we were required to. But
okay. Was this right after this? Was this one of the first times in movie history of the?
See, I tried to buy my way in, but Kenneth, he's not trying to buy anybody. He's just trying to make friends, being himself. cools, nerds, your side, my side. Man, it's all bullshit. It's just tough enough to be yourself.
Sorry. The slow clap. No, it was not the first time, and I wish it was the last.
Okay.
But they successfully. That's funny. I was going to bring that up too. They successfully executed the slow clap. That's for sure.
And then, okay, but this is what they said about the movie. This is why it got such a bad rating, because this had potential. This had a way of you could have cut through all that demographics and the cultural separations and all those things that typically are affecting these young kids these days. It couldn't do that. It still was trying to be popular, and to the point where they showed all the geeks, dorks. They were at the arcade and they were playing.
Well, that's true.
And and Kenneth was there with playing the really. I'm going, hey, what's in the background? Is that Pac-Man Space Vader?
It's Centipede back there. Check that out. Right.
Is that Paperboy?
Right.
Yeah. But we mentioned taking girls to movies. I think a pretty damn good date that Roland had was taking Cindy to that airline graveyard, which was officially the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group. It has 4,400 aircraft on it, which when I saw that, I said, wait a minute, they're now skipping around. I thought they were in California, but now you're showing
it's really a thing. It's really a thing.
Yeah, so there he is. It was pretty cool. I mean, what a neat place to take somebody. Obviously, he was into aeronautical, aerospace exploration and all that stuff, because he wanted to buy a telescope initially with his $1,000 and end up spending it on her. So
that's what he had his cheap old. Well, his other telescope was in the secret box. I thought he had a dozen roses waiting for it, and he pulls a telescope out.
It was a pretty damn good telescope, so I don't know why he needs to have a new one. It sounds like he wasn't hurting for money or hurting for a telescope in that way.
Nah, I mean, you look around their house. I mean, they have some disposable income they can throw at the smart kid. I mean, Seth Green's obviously going to grow up to be an asshole, so at least maybe we'll get the geeky son, hook him up to some things. So telescope seemed like a good idea at the time.
All right, and then one
There's
final
your rabbit.
I know exactly. I want to bring this up. 87. I remember these vehicles.
Yep.
At the school, and they were always driven by hot girls.
Yep.
And I was like, dang it, that's so true. And she was cute. And I go, yeah, that makes sense. It was a really cool vehicle, especially convertible. I mean, you can imagine rolling into high school parking lot in the convertible. Yeah.
Certain type of person drove those cars.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Oh, but yeah. Anyway, it's a neat experiment. I don't know if anybody actually watched this movie and went, renting a girl. I think I can do that. Yeah. I don't know if you can pull that off at any time in any decade, any school. But yeah.
And then they remade the movie.
Which we said before is a beautiful ode to a great movie, but why would they do it to this movie?
Right. I mean, remake Princess Bride with the modern set of actors, but Can't Buy Me Love? And Nick Cannon's going to be your star? Oh my God. I'm a lesser person that I know about this movie, and unfortunately, I'm probably going to go take a 15-minute peek at it just to see how bad it is. But I certainly am not paying $3.99 to rent this pay-per-view shit show.
Well, on that note of love.
Right. Maybe we need some love songs to cheer us up, Paul. Maybe that's what we've gotten
and that's true too, because even the soundtrack, I was listening very hard going, there's got to be a song here, and all we got was
dance I can do. I'm proud to say that I was a contributing choreographer on that. I mean, Paul Abdul and I worked very closely together as we laid that out. I'm surprised Dance Dance Revolution or any of those video games never had the African animator ritual. Maybe they did, but it's something that a guy like me who has no rhythm, I can pull something like that off. So if you ever see me writhing around looking like I'm in pain, I'm probably doing the African animator ritual. So just be forewarned.
Grandma! Grandma! Look! Don't touch that radio! Don't touch it! Turn it up! Turn it up! This is unbelievable! I've never heard music like this before! It speaks to me! Todd! Dad, this is unbelievable! Now watch! Now watch!
Yeah?
Well, this is out there! Think how much more is out there! This is the kind of music that tells me to go out there and be somebody! But name him!
Let him go.
Yeah, because unlike Better Off Dead with E.G. Daily, who actually sang a song that was actually pretty darn good, I don't even recall who this band was that was playing at their prom and whatever. All right, let's listen to some music, shall we?
Let's listen to some tunes.
Love songs.
Some love anthems.
This scared me, Charlie, because I'm going, all right, I know he's not going to bring a bunch of ballads and stuff from what hair bands love ballads. There's always a guarantee you're going to have a ballad on a album from a hair band. And I know you hate that term, but I'm just telling you, a hair band.
That was the formula. That's what got you onto the radio if you were a band that was struggling to get a song out. It's like, well, you know, what was it? Nobody's Fool from Cinderella. I mean, back in the old days, I think about, you know, Shake Me was popular, but Nobody's Fool. Oh yeah, now we're prom themes at this point. So yeah, it was part of the makeup of the hair metal band back in the day. But thankfully, a lot of those guys were smart enough to cut that out of their sets a little bit later in life.
Yes, so you've already mentioned how the Cinderella song, you're like, we're not playing that kind of crap in my venue. So I'm interested, and I'm sure everyone else is interested in hearing what you have to bring on your 5 songs to the playlist. I will let you know, audience, I went back and added show 2, 3, 4, I believe, songs to the playlist. We didn't actually, you know, lay it out at like a banner like we do now. We didn't play them like we do now. As I mentioned, maybe on our Facebook page and Instagram, show 7 is when we really went, you know what? We don't care about the copyright. We're gonna go full on and and accept the repercussions. But here's a beautifully clear audio of the songs that we're picking versus, you know, jumbled up, if you will.
We'll take the heat on your behalf.
Yeah, so let's get into mine. It Must Be Loved by Madness.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. And I never thought I'd feel this way, the way I feel about you. As soon as I wake up, every night, every day.
The reason why I picked Madness is because we had featured them on show 4 with Young Ones, but we didn't do like we do now. We didn't talk about their backstory and so on and so forth. And I believe you are a fan. I'm a fan. My brother's a fan. And I wanted to give them a little more love, if you will. This was actually a cover. You mentioned cover band, and that's exactly what they were initially when they started. They did a lot of covers. Their idol was Prince Buster. This song was a cover of a 1971 song called and I'm gonna mess this name up, but Labai Safri. Let me play you the original.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. And I never thought I'd feel this way, the way I feel about you. As soon as I wake up, any night, any day.
Pretty chill, right?
Yeah. Little tempo change there at the beginning is kind of interesting.
I don't think it gets going, to be honest with you, but neat choice. It definitely was a hit for them. They are a funny ass band. I mean, just their covers on their albums were funny. It almost looks like they're spelling out something, maybe even madness. But I've seen 4 of their covers, even if for a single or if it's an album, and they're always doing something odd as a group collectively.
Living up to the name.
They were good-looking boys. They had personality. They did a little acting. They were, on TV shows. And the backstory on them would be they're from Camden Town, which is North London. They formed in 1976. They're still together, but they went through massive changes of people coming in and out. But they have alter egos, which is cool, right? So a ska band, Monsieur, Barso, Chrissy Boy, Kicks, Chaz.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? Chaz Smash, Suggs, Woody, Betters. Yeah, pretty cool. They actually dropped one of their members back in the early days because he chose to watch the Chelsea Football Club more than practice with the band.
Yeah, a Chelsea fan, you got a question to begin with, but
All right. Arsenal fan, you are definitely out.
right. My late friend Dean Mitchell, who was from North Hendon in London, was a huge Madness fan. Actually kind of turned me on to these guys. I only knew them beyond our house. I just really didn't know at the time, and then he turned me on. We used to go to the Crown and Anchor, the old British pub in about a mile east of the Strip, and play Madness songs. And I remember hearing this one at that time. That's just kind of jogged that memory a little bit. I haven't heard that song in 20 some years. So
yeah,
definitely a good body of work. That's for sure.
Well, I'm going to use a phrase that Charlie uses a lot. They're a tour entity as of today.
Nice.
I don't think they tour, but they definitely play. A critic actually called them the Blues Brothers with English accents.
That's fair to say. They hate Chicago Nazis.
Swastika is calling you to the order for which he stands. And to the order for which he stands.
Hey, what's going on?
Those bums won their court case, so they're marching today.
What bums?
The fucking Nazi party.
Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
Here's more of It Must Be Love by Mandy.
To take the blues away. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. How can it be that we can say so much without words? Bless you and bless me. Bless the bees and the birds.
I like it. All the instruments, little saxophone, little trombones.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay, we're going to move on to I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders from '94. uh, doesn't have the word love in it, but you have a few songs that don't have the word love, at least one. So I was like, you know what? This it showed up on all the love song playlists, and we mentioned them before. So this is my tie in. So let me bring up the Pretenders, which is isn't it weird though? This is um this is just Chrissy Hines. She's just chilling here without the band. So I don't know what the heck that thing is on the right hand side, to be honest with you.
I thought that was like a chimpanzee or something like that, trying
Yeah.
to knock her off her perch there. But
Yeah, little,
yeah,
little
she knows she was the attraction, so I might as well just put her on the front cover.
yeah. All right, so let's listen to a little bit of I'll Stand By You.
Why you look so sad? The tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know.
This is from their sixth studio album, Last of the Independents. You know, she has a beautiful voice. She, you know, her range is from yelling to the softness, and she has that bit of a raspiness to her, which is really cool. So, yeah, she is a star of the band, certainly. But the connection was what we just mentioned. Might have been in the last show, but it was written by Chrissy and Tom Kelly and Bill Steinberg, the ones that wrote Like a Virgin and Time After Time, a bunch of stuff for Cyndi Lauper. Tom Kelly actually did the piano work and the guitar work in this. So not just a writer, but good Lord, a musician.
Triple threat in the middle of the road.
triple threat. In '94, I don't know if when they're sort of the crescendo of MTV Friday night videos obviously dropped off, but MTV, where when you make a song and you know it's pretty darn good, you definitely want to sell it. Your record producers and executives are like, hey, we're gonna go with this one, we're gonna put it on the radio. Then therefore you have to make a video to it. So there you put so much money, production value, acting into this. That's what these are. You almost have to do a song. In this case, the video of this was she was helping an elderly person, and you know, it's almost like an interpretation. So if you don't know what the song's about, you watch the video and you go, oh, she's helping somebody. That type of thing.
Right. That's one interpretation. Let's just talk about the chimpanzee that's trying to pull her off stage, just to the right.
Yeah, I'll stand by you.
I'll stand by you if you give me a banana. Okay, that seems fair.
All right, next song is, and we talked about this before the show, was, hey, how do you pick? We said love, heart, kiss, kind of being together. Try to make this as warm relationship-y wise versus all the raining blood.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Blood's
So
red.
yeah, blood is red. You're right. It is red. And so speaking of blood, I have Love Like Blood from the King.
There we go.
In '85. So
very nice.
Yeah, there's a dude with his shirt off, bro. I don't know if looks like he might be cutting his chest with the samurai sword, which we wish we had a sword or some sort of sabers that we were going to use as from our props department, which failed us today for the whole Princess Bride thing.
Very nice. They could have got it to Inigo Montoya in time to fight the six-fingered man, but
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that!
he did all right.
Yeah, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's 5-finger guy. But all right, so here's Love Like Blood by Killing Joke. English post-punk band.
Sure enough.
Yeah, right. Jazz Coleman vocals, who you heard, praised by a lot of people. So anyway, they mentioned this particular song is like disco with distorted guitar.
A little Morrissey-ish kind of.
All right, yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. This is from their 5th studio album, Nighttime. I could have used that on the last show. Nighttime.
That's right.
In the same genre as The Cure, Joy Division, Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, and Front 242. They're massive in like Belgium and beyond. But yeah, they formed in Notting Hill and London in 1979, so they got some serious history to them.
Yeah,
and yeah, there was it mentioned. I'm not going to go into their ridiculous history. Good lord, but yeah, they're influenced. Actually, they influenced bands like Metallica, Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails, and Soundgarden. But yeah, the Ministry was brought up before Motley Crue. They actually toured Motley Crue when Motley Crue went to Europe.
Yeah, Metallica covered a couple of their songs along the way, so they certainly had an affinity towards the Killing Joke.
There's some controversy in their history. I'm not going to necessarily get too much into it, but I will tell you that there was mention of people migrating or leaving England to live in Iceland in like a Pacific island near New Zealand and stuff like that. So really odd history, interesting, very political. They really latched on to what was going on at the time. So yeah, pretty. I mean, it's not just this one. There's other songs I just absolutely love from this band. So yeah, let's check out a little more of Love Like Blood, which is such a good makeout song. Oh, it's so good. Nice.
Hell yeah, that should have been on the Can't Buy Me Love soundtrack.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was drawing blood though.
Probably should have.
Yeah. I like the band's name is Killing Joke because it reminds me of the Joker, Dark Knight comics that I used to collect when I was a geek and a dork and all that stuff. But that comic book is now worth $1,000. All right. So this was a bit of a last minute addition. So you might have to help me with this one, Charlie. Yes. Lillian.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, so this cover reminds me of when we graduated and we left Pasadena. My parents bought a house because they were basically waiting for us to graduate, my brother and I, and at least myself because I was 2.5 years younger than my brother. Once I graduated, they're like, okay, now we're going to move to sort of our house that we're going to retire in. And we moved to Ellicott City.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also when I signed up to join the military when I was 17. And I left January of 1990 and came back in April of 1990. But when I came back, my dad had done this really cool thing. He actually took the basement of that new house. I guess it was kind of a new house in Ellicott City, and he built this basement in an apartment. So I actually had my room down there. I had access to the outside. I could bring girls in through this sliding glass.
All right.
I know. And then I had like a whole apartment basically with couch and TV and everything. And and a laser disc, by the way. Do you remember laser discs?
Boy, do I. Yeah, we had one.
Yes, I can understand you. I'm Leonard Nimoy, a record player that produces beautiful sound and pictures through my TV. The system consists of this Magnavision optical video disc player, a laser vision video disc, and my TV. This single wire. By connecting this wire to the antenna input on the TV set, the player becomes operable. An optical laser scanner. The encoded information on this disc is read by a laser beam. Obviously, scratches won't affect this coated surface, and normal wear and tear should have no bearing on the quality. It does seem well constructed.
Yeah, we had our laser disc collection, that's for sure. I think we had a Pink Floyd Live from Pompeii laser disc. I remember that back in the day.
I wanted to bring this up for when we did Airplane, because we had Airplane, we had Blues Brothers, we had Xanadu. Remember Xanadu from Olivia Newton-John? We had Jaws, some other ones that were it's just interesting. This gigantic, basically CD that you put in there and whatever. It was groundbreaking at the time, which my dad loved to have those new gadgets.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I had the area, and then in a little corner area, he built me a art studio. So that's where I did all my, my Dangerous Toys artwork. I mean, you can't see it right now, but my artwork it surrounds this entire garage, the studio. Well, I know I'm in an arcade, folks, but trust me. But yeah, anyway, pretty cool area. And I used to collect artwork from all these bands, and like we mentioned previously, when it comes to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, here Lillian Axe, even like I said, I love this just because the girl's hot on the cover. And do you remember Slaughter's cover with the girl and she was standing there?
Stick it to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I used to cut them out and I used to put them up, and that used to be my sort of wallpaper. And in certain cases, it was my inspiration for drawing certain things. And I could look at there and I could draw how a girl might be shaped, if you will, because that's how my art was. I could never actually do it, completely freehanded. I had to look at something. So that's why I never made millions, Charlie.
I hear you. I hear you.
So yeah, let's listen to a little bit of All's Fair in Love and War.
Oh, that takes me back.
Oh, I know, right? This is actually a really well-received album, and they're from New Orleans. And I love this entire album. There's quite a few songs that I enjoy, and actually quite a few of them fit into the whole love thing. But yeah, what do you know about Lillian Axe? Because I haven't written any notes down, but
front to back, that was their second album, the Love and War album. But they had She Likes It on Top, which was another kind of a catchy song off of that particular album. But yeah, I mean, they were a New Orleans band. I mean, they shuffled through some different lineups over the years, as many of the bands of the era did. But kind of interesting though, they have sort of resuscitated the band over the time, and according to the research, they went into the studio last year to start making their 11th studio album, The Ten Commandments.
Hear me! Oh, hear me! All pay heed!
The Lord Jehovah, has given unto you these 15, 10 commandments.
Yeah, I mean, they came up with the name Lillian Axe from the movie Creep Show, and you know the whole axe thing, and then what do they say? An old lady's name, a creepy old lady's name, Lillian. I guess sure, why not? But yeah, I mean, they toured with Rat Poison, Queen's Right, which I absolutely love. But yeah,
all the standards of the time. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess we talked a little bit about hair metal before the show tonight, but sort of one of those that they're sort of B-listers. Never headline their own tour or anything like that, but certainly stand alone and go back and listen to these albums. They still stand the test of time. So
yeah,
again,
I think so.
if you've never heard of Lillian Axe, again, get on that Spotify app, and before you go to the Totally Radical Mixtape playlist, check out Lillian Axe, and I think you'll be pretty pleased.
I mean, come on, the guy's Steve Blaze. You got if you have a last name Steve Blaze, then you better get into music
or be a pyro.
All right, here's more from Lillian Axe. Well, look, I threw that in there because I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have the love songs, and then the ones that are like, yeah, I'm trying to love you, but bitch gonna stab you in the back.
This kind of sounds like toxic behavior by today's standards, if you really think it through.
Yeah, this is a little Tawny Katane kind of situation.
That bitch gonna stab you in the back. Well, maybe just have a negative outlook on the whole thing. I mean, maybe give her a chance. Give her some flowers, some nurturing. Maybe enjoy your relationship versus just assuming that the bitch is gonna stab you in the back. Just saying.
Oh my gosh! All right, moving on to Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Ah.
You can't go wrong with Meatloaf.
Did you? Yeah. Did you? Your parents, your mom, I guess. I'm assuming the mom ever make you meatloaf.
Absolutely, I'm a big Meatloaf fan.
Okay.
Also, connect back to prior shows. Anthrax Scott Ian is married to Meatloaf's daughter.
What?
There's always the connection. I saw that on some reality show 10, 15 years ago, but I guess the heir apparent to the Meatloaf throne, that's for sure. So, but yeah, Meatloaf's awesome.
All right. And we're talking about the food or the guy?
Both.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. All right. Yeah. Meatloaf, or officially Marvin Lee Aday, or you can refer him to as Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. Yeah, he was in quite a few movies, actually. That's pretty good. And I remember him in Fight Club.
Yep.
All right. The I'd Do Anything for Love song, written by Jim Steinman, and who else is singing on this is Lorraine Crosby, who it was weird when I read this that she sang it, but she didn't get any credit for it. She was actually, if you look at the album and you would flip it around and you read all the notes and stuff, she was written down as Mrs. Loud.
Wow.
That's all she. Her name does not appear on the record except for Mrs. Loud.
That's certainly not Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, that's for sure.
No. But I love this. It was on the Bat Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell album. You're like, so the Bat got out of hell.
Then he went back
into hell. Okay, just a second. Yeah, it's all right. And this is one of those songs which, like, as you just mentioned, Dashboard Light and also Bat Out of Hell. These are theatrical productions. I mean, these are lengthy, insanely overproduced, excess songs. Quite well done.
These are karaoke songs that you need to rehearse before you go to karaoke if you're going to dare broach these. But yeah, absolute classic. Epics.
Oh, thank you. Epics is a really good word. I mean, the vocals. Well, here, let's check it out. I don't know how. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not sure how we're gonna break this down, but let's see how we pull this together, because we're at show 16. We're professionals playing it.
And I would do anything for love. I'd run right into hell and back. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now. Oh no. No way, and I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love, but I won't.
That's what I'm getting at. The vocals don't start until 1 minute and 50 seconds in. There's a few songs like that. Even Phil Collins's "In the Air Tonight." You're just like, what's going on? Does anybody sing on this? I've joked about The Cure having extremely long intros before you actually hear somebody sing. There's a piano for 20 seconds. There's an instrumental for 45 seconds. It's, well, the one that I'm looking at right now is 11 minutes long, but they said that the one that was playing on the radio was 7 minutes and 52 seconds. It was at one point the longest song at the top, Billboard charts, what have you. It took over from like a Beatles song, and then somebody else took over from that. But the point is, you don't hear those very often on radios. They cut them down. There's an edited version, what have you, right?
Sliced and diced, usually. Glad they used onions in that meatloaf.
I do like the ketchup on top. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They mentioned a duet coda. Again, I'm not a record executive. I don't produce music, but a duet coda is him talking, answering questions, and then Lorraine comes in and she asks him questions, which gets to my point. Which, do you remember Pop-Up Video on VH1?
Oh yeah.
Why did Al Gore demand a private meeting with this twisted sister?
Who are you? Where do you come from? Are you listening to me? What do you want to do with your life?
I want to rock.
Big fan.
Yeah, huge fan, because I think we're huge on trivia. By the way, if you want to hire Charlie and I to come to your 80s trivia team, just check out our Facebook and Instagram pages, about 19.95 per hour, or buy some merch from us, and you'll be set.
We'll fly in for your trivia night.
Yep, and we'll win you that mug or a T-shirt or what have you.
$25 in bar bucks.
So
That's
it
big.
it mentions, yeah, we'll cover your drink costs. It mentions because this was like the question of the hour. What exactly won't he do for love? I won't do that. And you, what are you saying? Because the joke is, oh, like you won't do crazy shit. What's going on? But he almost had to have and he did. There was a show where he actually took out a whiteboard or a blackboard and actually drew. He said, "All right, here's what I did. I said I will do for love, and here's what I said I won't do for love." And it's in the damn song. If you just listen to it, I won't screw around is what I'm trying to tell you, and I won't do that. Oh no! But yeah,
he's an honorable meatloaf.
Yeah, he's an honorable meatloaf, and it's a phenomenal song. To the point where, as I mentioned with the Pretenders, it required a huge production video for MTV, to the point where Michael Bay produced it. You can look him up, but I think Transformers comes to mind. I don't know.
Lots of explosions.
Yeah. Yeah, you can look him up. Transformers, Bad Boys, Armageddon. You get the gist when it comes to how theatrical this Meatloaf video is. Daniel Pearl was a cinematographer for it, who was with a Texas Chainsaw Massacre tie-in with John Larroquette.
Sure enough.
So, and it had this Beauty and the Beast, Phantom of the Opera kind of approach. So, and the girl in it lip syncs. That's not Lorraine, by the way. I mean, even more of a, shutting her out of any type of, royalties or what have you. They didn't even use her in and she's pretty girl. They didn't even use her in the video. They used somebody else, and she lip synced it to the point where people were contacting her, thinking she sang in the song and saying, "Hey, would you like to do a recording contract?"
That's a virtual shunning.
Shunning. Thank you very much. Shunning, swooning, shuddering, what have you. All right, let's listen to a little bit more, and we'll find out. Maybe we'll hear what he won't do for love.
Brief interlude and a midsummer night's fling, and you'll see that it's time to move on. I won't do that. I won't do that. I know the territory I've been around. It'll all turn to dust and we'll all fall down. Sooner or later you'll be screwing around. I won't do that.
My first pick of our love theme songs on the Charlie side of things is a little nod back to, again, an earlier episode where we talked about the Devo documentary. So we're going back to the pride of Akron, Ohio. And this is off of their third studio album, Freedom of Choice, which is really the one that kind of got them into the mainstream. Whip It was the big single off of this, but it wasn't the first single. The first single was Girl You Want. Let's hear a little piece of it.
Did you say my nuts?
That's what he said. Okay. Cut them down to the midst of my balls. She's just a girl. She's just a girl. The girl you want. Catchy tune. Catchy tune. Freedom of Choice was chock full of those sort of gems. Yeah, I think back to Devo. I was thinking back to when we talked about Catholic school ahead of the show tonight, and we had performance day, and I remember doing a lip sync of a Devo song, which just happened to be this one. So got to go through the entire the gyrations and everything of the song. But again, so a little bit more of the song, and then we'll shift gears into the next one.
Gyrations in Catholic school should not be in the same sentence.
You gotta love it.
Heaven help, heaven help us.
She's just a girl. She's just a girl. The girl you want. She's just a girl. She's just a girl. The girl you want. She sings from somewhere you can't see. She sits in the top of the greenest tree. She sends out an aroma of undefined love. It drips on down in the midst of my buzz. She's just a girl.
I am gonna put the lyrics on the screen for that song because I'm like, what?
Well worth the while. Well worth the while for sure. So again, love me some Devo. Definitely seize the opportunity to interject them into our love episode tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. This is sort of a so Skid Row. Skid Row put out 18 in Life, and that very first album, which was a huge hit on MTV. But you know what Skid Row did is they did the follow-up album, which for most hair bands usually softened things up a little bit, became a little more mainstreamy. Skid Row made Slave to the Grind, which was just an amazing album, which was a face melter compared to the first album, which again was a good one itself. But Psycho Love was one that was a video, and actually, if you bought the Skid Row VHS back in the day, there was actually 3D glasses that came with the VHS, and this was actually a 3D video on the VHS. And I still have it tucked in the shell. I don't know if I've had that in a VHS player for 30 years, but yeah, there were 3D glasses that went along with this particular song. But it's a jammer. So again, starts pretty quickly. So kick it off, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Think that he's praised for his vocals and his hair. I mean, there's a lot of women out there who are like, my God, I want his hair.
Sebastian Bach was a standard setter in terms of vocals. I mean, well, he did Phantom of the Opera when he left Skid Row. I mean, he was on Broadway for many years doing Phantom of the Opera, but I mean, this album is a game changer. Again, Slave to the Grind. If I had to put a top 20 metal albums of all time, this is firmly in there somewhere. But yeah, like this song, I mean, there were so many other ones within this album that were just, again, and I'd be honest with you, when the first Skid Row album came out, I was kind of like, yeah, this is all right, but I'm tired of the 18 in Life. I'm tired of the ballady-ish kind of shit that they put out. And the second album, again, just crumpled that up, threw it away, and this was again the face melter that really solidified them with me. What's a little bit more of a taste of that? But after Clementine gets done cleaning her needles in her wine, where do we take the story from there?
Slut in the pink but screaming blue. I'm tasting crazy.
musical highlights. Legs at 10 and 2.
Like
Or
10 and 2.
King Tut and a snake-eyed slut.
Easy. This is a love show, Charlie.
King Tut and a snake-eyed slut. If I ever had a band I was going to name, that's probably going to be in the top 5.
In the pink but screaming blue, chain her down. That's what you do. I don't know how many times I've gone to a movie with a girl and I just said, "I'll taste your crazy. You smell insane."
Forget the dozen roses. Let's just drop some compliments like that, and I think you're going to be in business. You can pull the popcorn trick after you pull a line off like that. That's for sure.
Oh.
All right.
Moving on.
Next one up. This band debuted in '89. Bang Tango. Huge fan of these guys. They were MTV popular back in the day. Someone Like You is really the big single off of this album that most MTV fans from back in the day would remember. Love Injection was another big song off of this album. Let's give everybody a taste of that, and I'll give you a little more background.
DJ Paul going at it. The premise of us share the music is completely lost to me now. I get into the music and I forget, hey, just give him a little bit and then we talk and then we give a lot.
I did get to meet Joe Lestay, the lead singer who's in the center right there. I actually was fortunate enough to run into these guys. They played sort of like an impromptu show here in Vegas. There's a place called the Empire Ballroom, which was like attached to MGM. Well, not attached, but it was in the alley next to MGM Grand. So they used to throw a lot of these types of shows, and I got to see Bang Tango with Pretty Boy Floyd, which was like another C-lister band from back in the day. I mean, they had a couple decent songs. Bang Tango, and then Stephen Pearcy from Rat, his little solo act was headlining that particular night. But I did get to meet Joe Lestay while Pearcy was on, got a picture taken with him, tried everything I could to find that picture for the show, but could not find it. Still looking. Maybe we could put it in a little bit later. I'll throw it up on the Facebook site. But these guys are effing amazing. This Psycho Cafe was their debut album, which was, again, front to back amazing. Dancing on Coals was their second album. Again, if you haven't heard of this band, look them up on Spotify. I don't know about the guys in the top hats. I don't think they were in the band in 2003 when I saw them. Maybe they might have just been plants. Maybe they had the hats left over from the New Year's Eve party that they attended at our place. Hard to say.
Yeah, they look like twins. To be honest with you,
kind of, sort of, but
and like slash wannabes.
You know.
Well, let's have a look at the replay. William, move your head. Heed, move.
If you think I'm sexy and you want my body, all you got to do is call. You think I'm sexy, all you've got to do. I don't even have a paper who's down.
It was kind of funny though. So in post original band life, there's always these little concessions that they make. So the night I saw them, when it was Pretty Boy Floyd, the backing band for Pretty Boy Floyd was the exact same backing band as Bang Tango, just a different singer. So it's kind of interesting. You think about how cost effective it is to tour these bands that maybe don't draw that well. Well, F it. Let's just have the same backing band for each of the bands, and that way we'll save money. We don't have to split it up quite as much. So just kind of an interesting story from that.
Any backstory on why Bang Tango?
Why not?
Okay. All right. Bang Tango, moving on.
All right, let's hear a little bit more on Love Injection, though. I think we're getting closer to the chorus.
we kind of talk crap about some bands like Kiss and some others that it's almost you take a word salad, you put it into a grinder and it spits it out, and you go, all right, let's go with that. Like they need Chat GPT help. But good Lord, the lyrics for this song, that's impressive, man. I mean,
That's poetry.
they might bring up Love Injection a little bit too much, but yeah, it's pretty lengthy.
All right, next one up. So this was a band. This was a band that kind of brought me into the alternative metal genre, and obviously movie genre for Rob Zombie later on in his own career. But sort of the breaker for White Zombie was Thunder Kiss 65. Was on the Las Exorcisto album. So Las Exorcisto Devil Music Volume 1. A little bit of a little snippet here. Rob's second from the left there had a very impressive head of hair back in those days. God, I forget the name of the bass player, but she was pretty badass too as well.
Adam Durst? No, that's not him. Adam.
No,
That's not Counting Crows. It's not Counting Crows.
No, not the same fella. But they always had. You mentioned album covers, so a lot of crazy album art, especially the inner liner notes, some of the stuff that wouldn't be censored on the outside, and got to see these guys a ton of times back in the day. Always video screens, a lot of animation integrated in with the music. So and honestly, if you haven't heard Thunder Kiss, see if you remember the opening guitar riff to the song.
Let's do that. Fakita, and the artwork looks like what they like a tattoo artist would provide you. I've heard this song a lot.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I've heard this song, and I never knew that they were yelling that stuff.
Now I got a shit ton of radio play off of this. Again, led them into a lot of pretty amazing tours. I know first time I saw them live, they were it was Deftones, who were big at the time, still kind of are. White Zombie, and then Pantera was the headliner on this particular show. But yeah, just chaos as far as the video screens and all the different theatrical that they put into it. And obviously he graduated into his own solo act, Rob Zombie, later on. Was participants in a couple pretty cool movies, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, was really instrumental in getting those films made. So all kind of in the master zombie vision as far as how he wanted his message to get out. But yeah, definitely a landmark song for them. Kind of got him into the mainstream, got him out into everybody's ears. And
yeah, that's Sean. Well, I don't even is Swalt, born Shauna Reynolds. She's the girl right there.
Yep, that's it.
And
that's
badass. That's cool. She's a bass player. Boom.
It's amazing how many girl bass players are out there in those rockin' ass bands. They just somehow find their way in. They must just have a innate sense of a bass line. Maybe that's what it is, or they just look good.
Both her parents were college English professors, and her father being an authority on the life of Ernest Hemingway. All right, more?
Yeah, a little bit more. I think we can take a little bit of taste before we wrap it up.
Do you want more? Do you want more? Yeah.
We always want more.
The power of the loud, to move it fast.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, to wrap our love episode up here, we'll go to one again, probably one that most, if not all, of our listeners have probably heard or seen the video on MTV at some point. But we're going to take a little nod to Nine Inch Nails. So, Trent Reznor's sort of solo project from back in 1989. They rolled out the debut album Pretty Hate Machine, evolved their craft over time. But again, before I get too far into the backstory, I would imagine that everybody's probably heard the beginning part of the song, but let's lay it out there for those that maybe have forgotten.
You let me violate you. You let me desecrate you. You let me penetrate you. You let me complicate you.
He's got no soul to sell.
Don't get ahead of yourself. There are moments in time that Nine Inch Nails is absolutely needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was blessed to see them early on in their careers. I always think of sort of the penultimate Nine Inch Nails show was '96. We saw them at the Baltimore Arena. Marilyn Manson was the opener. Before nobody knew who Marilyn Manson was. The Jim Rose Circus, which was the traveling freak show, was the middle act. The Nine Inch Nails came on with the Downward Spiral tour and just blew the doors off of the Baltimore Arena. I mean, again, that was, I liked them up until then, but to see them actually engage live like that was just game changing for me. And to those who don't know the Nine Inch Nails history, Trent Reznor did all the shit by himself in the studio. From the outset, it was his project. I mean, they would put together a touring band that would go along with them. Interestingly enough, Filter, a band who later did Take My Picture, that band. A couple of those guys were in Trent's touring band earlier on in their careers, and they went on to make their own band Filter, and ironically enough, or unironically enough, Trent produced them. So it all kind of tied together in terms of how they got their fame. But interestingly enough, again, Nine Inch Nails is a touring entity, and guess who's going to see them next month at MGM Grand? That would be me. So let's get into more of the closer song, though, as this again is one of those opuses that everybody always recognizes, and I'm sure you recognize the chorus.
The idea that you chose this is your last song with these lyrics makes me know that you are truly a man of love.
I've got no soul to tell. Help me. The only thing that works for me. Help me get away from myself. I wanna fuck you like an animal. I wanna feel you from the inside. I wanna fuck you like an animal.
Oh, Charlie. Oh my God.
That's a hell of a wrap up.
You think?
So I think as far as our Valentine's Day tidings, I think that kind of we touched a few things. We touched the sensitive side. We've touched the S&M side.
Don't even try to justify it, man. Come on.
No.
You gotta put,
absolutely
like you
not.
said, you gotta put in cringe-worthy stuff, and you're like, oh. I'm gonna steal a line from Charlie. Well, we've been on quite a journey on this show. But I will tell you, by the way, that we now have merch that has like rip-off sleeves. Right? Cool cool stuff like that. Optional black masks that you can look like
Yes.
the dreaded pirate Roberts. And for those guitar players out there, Billy Boat. There
Yeah.
are six-fingered gloves that you can buy. So yeah, tons of merch. Just let us know if you're interested in turning one of your favorite shows into something that you can wear proudly around your community and let people know how cool totally radical mixtape podcast is. You know, pretty much yes, you can rent a friend. We actually encourage you to rent a friend and check out our social pages in case we drop a gem in there.
Absolutely, and we truly appreciate the ongoing support of the show. It's nice to see the increased viewership as we go along. Certainly appreciate you spreading the word. Certainly check out the past library of shows. We've got 15 shows in front of this one here with a lot of different topics, things that you can take a look at. Continue your exploration of the 80s and 90s nostalgia, the totally radical mixtape podcast way. But we certainly love you all for watching, and we will see you next time, preferably doing the African anteater ritual. So thanks so much for watching the show, and we'll see you next time.
Trust me.
I
think I'm in love. Forget it. She's way above your class. I
Met the most beautiful girl I have ever seen.
You seem to think there is something wrong up here.